this unique combination of the bar and bench which comes together in the Supreme Court. We have judges who have come from the district judiciary, like Justice Bela Trivedi, Justice Bhanumati before her, who have years and years and years of experience of handling the grassroots reality of our legal system. We are people who are drawn from the bar who are elevated at a lateral point much later in our careers. But we have looked at the district judiciary. We know what the conditions are because we have worked as administrative judges in the high courts. We have traveled to remote locations. We know what the realities of our districts are. As Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court, I know that well, and we were discussing this yesterday when we were with the SCORA members. There are district court establishments in UP, when the prisoners are brought for the day's appearance in court, they are led by a staircase into a dungeon, but there is not even a light or a toilet, and they have to stay there the whole day. Those are the realities. As an administrative judge of Kolhapur, Justice Oak and I, we were administrative judges of Kolhapur, one of the most prosperous districts in Maharashtra. When the young women, we had a district judge who was a woman, and she told us that there is no toilet for women judges in this district court establishment. And these young girls who are now who are judicial officers at the age of 25 and 30 and 35, they leave their home at 8:30 in the morning to come to the court, and they return home and can use a washroom only at 6 o'clock in the evening. And the district judges told us that, well, they don't go to the public toilet because they have to go past the under-trials who are sitting just outside the toilet, and they find it extremely embarrassing to use the public toilet. So these are some of the realities of the legal profession, of our district judiciary. And I do believe that we have to change. If we have to change, we have to change the face of the district judiciary first and foremost. I think we have fostered a culture of subordination. We call our district judiciary as subordinate judiciary. I make a conscious effort not to call our district judges as subordinate judges, because they are not subordinate. They belong to the district judiciary. I have visited district courts where it used to be conventional, not in Maharashtra, mind you. Maharashtra is very different. It used to be very conventional for district judges to stand when high court judges are having their lunch or dinner, sometimes even try and serve the high court judges. That speaks of our colonial mindset. And I would always say that, look, we will not have our food unless you sit on the same table with us and have your food. As administrative judges of the High Court, you would often have district judges who would come to brief you as Registrar Vigilance or Registrar Legal. They wouldn't dare to sit in front of you as a judge of the High Court. They would stand up and discuss the file with you. So we would go out of our way and say that, well, if you're not going to sit down, there'll be no discussion on the issue. Please sit in front of us and then we'll open the file. So a great deal has to be done, not only in terms of improving the infrastructure of our district judiciary, which is extremely important, for which we have to lay the foundation blocks today, but we have to also change our mindsets about how we, as superior court judges, look at our own district judiciary, how we perceive of them. You would find that a young IAS officer does not look at a superior with a sense of inferiority. They would talk on a footing of equality. But that is not so in the judiciary. We have to ensure that when we deal with judicial officers, there are states in the country when the Chief Justice travels and crosses boundaries of districts, judicial officer would stand in a row at the end of the boundary of one district and before the judge enters another district. All this has to change. We have to ensure that we move towards a more modern judiciary, an equal judiciary. And unless we in the superior courts, be it the High Court or the Supreme Court, we realize that the district judiciary is really the core, the cornerstone of the judicial system, nothing is going to change. And we have to inculcate the sense of self-worth in our district judiciary. Interestingly, now, many more women are coming into the district judiciary. The last recruitment which took place in the state of Rajasthan, over 60% of the new recruits were women in the state of Rajasthan. I found that there is a generational shift which is going on in the judiciary. There's a demographic shift which is going on in the district judiciary. When I was Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court, if you spoke to a very senior district judge, every second sentence they would look at you and say, "Hanji, sir." The younger lot of judges would be talking to you on a footing of equality, because that shows where India is going. The young are educated, they are bright, they have aspirations, they have a sense of self-worth, they are confident about themselves. And that's the same about our young lawyers as well. So I think when we deal with our lawyers, and that's something which I try and do in my own courtroom, I try and deal with lawyers on a footing of equality, encourage them. Sometimes we appear to be harsh by not granting an adjournment, but we do that in order to enable a young lawyer to argue a case. Sometimes we make sure that the seniors sit next to the young lawyers. So all in all, I really begin by telling you that I'm not here to do miracles. I know that the challenges are high, perhaps the expectations are also great. I'm deeply grateful to you for your sense of faith. But I'm not here to do miracles, but I believe that my motto every day is that if this were to be the last day of my life, have I left the world a better place? This is what I ask myself every day. There is a brilliant book by a Stanford professor, and he says, well, you can never change the hand that you are dealt with by destiny, the hand in the hand of cards, a game of rummy or bridge. You cannot change the way the hand is dealt to you, but you can certainly change the way you play the hand. And that really it sums up what we have to do. So many demands, I wouldn't say demands, so many genuine requests from both initially Rahul and then the learned president of the SCBA. I've been in conversation with the SCBA. After that, I had a very long conversation with the members of SCORA. I moved into both those meetings with a sense of trepidation on what comes next, but I was pleasantly surprised because there was a feeling of very great respect, of camaraderie between the lawyers who met me, each one of them, feeling of great affection and camaraderie. But above all, I found that every one of your demands is so reasonable. There's no unreasonable demand coming at all. The only question is, how do you accommodate those demands? And I'm sure, with the collaboration of my senior colleagues, you've been referring to the way in which the issue of the chambers was sorted out, the issue of securities was sorted out. Justice Kaul dealt with the issue of security. Justice Suryakant and Justice Gavai dealt with the issue of chambers. In fact, whenever I had a 32 petition, I would say, why are you contesting a 32 petition? Just go before Justice